In today's workplace, it's common to see a pattern. Leaders often surround themselves with people who excel at flattery, manipulation, and even undermining honest colleagues. These individuals seem to gain trust, while genuinely loyal, straightforward employees get sidelined or even penalized. So why do leaders favor people who don't seem all that trustworthy? Are these leaders truly lacking insight, or are they knowingly turning a blind eye for the sake of harmony? We'll explore this complex dynamic through the lenses of philosophy and logic to understand why loyalty often goes unappreciated, while manipulation seems to thrive. The paradox of loyalty and betrayal. Let's start with what we could call the paradox of loyalty and betrayal. Traditionally, loyalty is considered a virtue, a foundation for strong relationships and effective teams. But when loyalty meets hierarchy, this ideal can easily become distorted. Philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche argued that power changes people. It makes them act in ways that can go against their true selves. In the workplace, those who flatter and play politics often appear loyal to leaders because they say what the leaders want to hear. Ironically, truly loyal employees, the ones who speak up for the team's best interest, may be perceived as disruptive or even rebellious. This situation creates an asymmetrical bias. Leaders often equate compliance with loyalty and see dissent as disloyalty. They're confusing loyalty with obedience, which misses the point that true loyalty means commitment to the team's success, not just agreeing with the boss. Information manipulation and confirmation bias. Another factor is information manipulation. In many workplaces, people who seek power through manipulation often control what information reaches the leader. This phenomenon taps into confirmation bias, the tendency to accept information that aligns with pre-existing beliefs while disregarding conflicting information. Manipulative individuals exploit this by selectively passing on only the details that fit the leader's preferences while ignoring or downplaying anything else. Imagine an employee identifying a team issue and wanting to bring it to the leader's attention, only for a politically savvy colleague to twist that feedback, ultimately filtering the message to make themselves look better. This kind of false reality can make the leader trust the wrong people and overlook the ones who actually care. At a deeper level, confirmation bias reflects a human tendency to prefer comfortable truths over challenging realities. Manipulative people can use this tendency to monopolize the leader's perspective, eventually isolating them from the real insights that could benefit the team. Power structures and the need for security. Another layer to this issue involves power structures and the human need for security. Psychologist Erich Fromm suggested that people crave security, which can lead to an over-reliance on authority figures. In the workplace, leaders often feel more comfortable with subordinates who don't challenge their decisions. These individuals don't rock the boat, creating a false sense of stability. Loyal employees, on the other hand, might raise concerns or offer constructive feedback, which can trigger insecurity in some leaders. They may start viewing these employees as threats rather than allies, even though they're only trying to help. This dynamic stems from analogical bias, where leaders mistakenly equate obedience with loyalty. But loyalty and obedience aren't the same. True loyalty involves responsibility, while obedience is simply about avoiding conflict. This misunderstanding allows manipulative people to gain influence by appearing safe, when in reality, they're just telling the leader what they want to hear. Another significant factor is the conflict between short-term gains and long-term value. In many organizations, leaders are pressured to focus on immediate results, making them more vulnerable to manipulation. Those who play office politics are skilled at producing quick wins that flatter leadership, while employees who focus on long-term goals and deeper contributions are often overlooked. This is tied to recency bias, where leaders give more weight to recent achievements and overlook sustained efforts. Manipulative people exploit this by showcasing small, short-term wins that reinforce the leader's focus on immediate outcomes, while loyal employees who think bigger lose visibility. Logical fallacies and human weaknesses in leadership. Many leaders also fall into selective perception. They only hear voices that support their existing beliefs. This can be further compounded by hindsight bias, where leaders assume that previous decisions were correct simply because they achieved some form of success, even if those decisions were based on limited perspectives. This creates a dangerous echo chamber. Leaders who surround themselves with yes men may feel validated, but are actually depriving themselves of reality checks. Loyal employees who offer constructive criticism are labeled as challenging, while manipulative people who reinforce the leader's views appear to be supportive allies. Can any leader avoid these mistakes? To avoid these traps, a leader needs a few essential qualities. Self-reflection. Great leaders practice regular self-reflection, examining their biases and limitations. Self-reflection helps them distinguish between genuine loyalty and superficial agreement, making it easier to recognize when they're being manipulated. Transparent communication. Good leaders maintain open, transparent communication channels to access a diverse range of information sources. By encouraging employees to share different perspectives, they can break the cycle of information filtering and confirmation bias. Encouraging critical feedback. Truly wise leaders don't fear criticism. Instead, they welcome constructive feedback. They understand that criticism and different viewpoints help them examine issues from multiple angles and avoid cognitive traps. Long-term focus. Leaders who are invested in the organization's long-term success are less likely to equate short-term results with success. They look beyond immediate gains and value employees who contribute to sustainable growth, rather than those who cater to immediate demands. Is it unavoidable? While power and authority can amplify biases and blind spots, not all leaders fall into these traps. Wise leaders are aware of these potential pitfalls and actively work to counter them by establishing systems and cultures that minimize personal biases. For example, some organizations implement reverse mentoring or anonymous feedback mechanisms, allowing employees to express their opinions without fear of repercussions. Others adopt situational training to help leaders make more balanced decisions with diverse feedback. In the end, a leader's ability to avoid favoring manipulative individuals over genuinely loyal employees depends on their self-reflective capacity, transparent communication, and openness to criticism. These qualities are not just hallmarks of effective leadership, but also the keys to creating a workplace culture that values integrity and fairness. While power may introduce certain biases, a leader with the right mindset and systems in place can break free from these cognitive traps and foster a more balanced, transparent environment.